In my language here, dear.
I'll be kicking off
Canada
the
is the real land of the
apocalypse.
free, man.
All right, I've pressed record.
Make-
My camera is bugging out, but
It looks
it's
fine
good.
to me.
It's fine. Woo! All right,
Yeah.
we're solid.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. As ready as I
Okay.
will be.
Ready to go. Pogging out. Ideally looking at some sort of camera. Okay. Let's do it. Welcome back, everybody, to Gringos Liberados episode. What are we on? 5, 6, 12? I don't know. 5, I think, right? Week 5?
Yeah.
Call it
Week
5.
5. Let's
Yep.
call it number 5. Let's go with 5. We're settling on 5. Okay, my name is Trajan. Welcome back. I am joined once again by 4y4 and Dia, and now joined by Axeman for the first time ever. We're sharing a podcast. The desk that no one asked for, but everyone's gonna have to deal with.
But you're gonna
So-
get now. So
You're gonna get it, and you're gonna gosh darn enjoy it. So, everybody, week 4, finally we have a leader, a champion, a hero to believe in. Redknitz, right at the top.
Yeah.
Do we believe? Do we believe? Anyone believe?
Not-
Anyone not believe? Maybe
Not
a better
the
question.
way that I would have hoped, if I'm honest. Like,
No.
like
No.
this is the hero that I wanted, but somehow not the hero that we deserved. Like, Red Canids look really good, but also,
The
what are they
hero-
doing? Like,
The almost lost to liberty. That
Yeah.
hero, the hero that. Do we not deserve that hero, or do we
I don't
think
know.
higher
I
of
think we
ourselves?
might. I think we might. I like it. It's fun. Is it clean? No.
No, no, it's not.
it's not clean.
Yeah.
The 7-1 record might not be entirely deserved.
No. But I
Um,
mean, they're definitely
big
the best
asterisk
team.
there.
Just because I feel they're just the best team because they have the best players. Like I mean,
Yeah.
they're just
I mean, that was it, right?
they're just so good. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
That-
strategy. That's why they built this team. That's how they built this team. We're gonna
Yeah.
be the best team because we got the best players.
Yeah.
And right now, it's working. You know, never has anything changed from one round robin to the next. But
Yeah.
at the very least, I'm glad that this experiment hasn't gone up in a mushroom cloud of failure,
That's true.
like so many super
Yeah.
teams have. Where this is a super team that is doing some relatively super things, even if those super things are 3v5 comebacks at the Nexus against the second worst team in the league, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
something super about that.
Here's a question though. What if Red Canids don't win the split? Is that considered a failure?
Yes,
Red Canids. Sorry guys, I'm moving forward for his thing.
I think it literally is.
Yeah, I think
don't
that
win
would
the
be
split, though.
considered a failure. I think you put FMB and Titan on the same team. If that roster doesn't win, then that's a failure in my mind.
Yeah,
Just
I think it's a failure relative to the expectations that they set for themselves because,
Yeah.
like you said,
Yeah.
they just threw what I can only imagine is a disrespectful amount of money at these players, and like to buy out these contracts. And yeah, like you've got 7 titles already between that team: 2 for Aegis, 1 for Envy, 4 for Titan, and
And then Frosty is participating.
Frosty's
And
like,
Frosty's there, man. Frosty's
Yeah.
fucking poor guy, because when this roster inevitably does blow up, not even like bad, but like when they separate, I will have no idea what to think of Frosty. Like
I
this
think
dude's
he's
probably
yes.
gonna, but like, yeah, he's gonna get a bag no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
He'll be like, oh, dude, Frosty,
Mhm.
he was on that second place INT, like, that red squad. That was, oh my god. And then
Yeah.
we're gonna find out about him. He's gonna get placed on like, it's like, oh, they swat, like Kaboom finally gets him in, and
go kaboom fast. Yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, something tells me he'll be just fine for at least the contract immediately following Red. And I will say, I haven't disliked Frosty's performance. I think he's been quite
No.
good. It's just I don't know what he could do to look bad
I'll,
outside of
I'll
the
tell you.
game.
I'll tell you this much. I feel like there is going to be a support slot opening in Kaboom in not too long a time. That's how
Yeah.
I feel. I think there's going to be a bit of a vacancy appearing in that roster, and I think support might be one of them, if not
So
one of
what
many.
what happens to Redbert, man? Like what do we actually do with this
Like-
support? Because he's been on some of the best teams to exist in CBLOL. Is this guy just gone? Who
I don't think so. I think he'll get one more chance. So I think
I
the whole
don't-
team is so bad. I refuse to believe that this is Redbird's last hurrah.
yeah, I don't think this is the end for Redbert. I will say Geeks is pretty good player. So I think that kind of reinforces Trajan's point that maybe they make some roster changes and maybe that happens in the support area. because they just have good players to back that position up with.
Hold up
Um,
though. What if Redbert role swaps to jungle and gets picked
Joins
up by
Los Grandes.
Los Grandes, dude.
Can't wait.
Oh, what a meme.
Can't
Dude.
wait.
I don't think it'd be that bad. I mean,
So, like, the options are he either. Well, I was gonna say there are two options. There's now three. The first of which is roll swap to jungle and join Los Grandes.
yes.
The second of which is disappear / become a broadcast talent, and the third of which is do a Tut style dolphin dive into academy to then rise victoriously as he has, right? Because Tuts is a champion, right? Tuts is a champion. He's not as old as Redbert, if I'm not mistaken, though I'm
Double check.
completely
Tuts is like 12.
vibe checking that. Tuts is like 12. I thought Tuts, though he is a dad, I thought he was like 25 or
20.
26, and he's like
Tuts-
22.
He's a young
20,
dad.
and he's a dad.
20. Actually, he's the fact that he's not the oldest person on Furia really just spun my head when I found that out. But but he is so Tuts has done that. He's proven that you can perform well, get dropped down, get owned, honestly, in academy, and then just be good anyway. So like, there's always the chance, right? There's always that option for Redbert, and I'm sure there are plenty of academy teams who would love to have a support with his veterancy. But Tuts did leave on kind of a high, in my opinion. He left tier 1 on a Flamengo roster where he was very obviously the best player, and Redbert doesn't really feel like the best player on Kaboom, and they're 0-8. So I don't know, man.
I'm not sure either. I will say though, for an argument for him to become broadcast talent, that's a handsome man. Redbert.
He is a handsome man.
Redbert
He
can
is.
rock
He is a
the
handsome
camera.
man.
Yeah.
Gosh,
We've
darn
all
it.
And
seen
I
that
don't have
jawline.
any. I mean, he's a
cut.
good-looking guy. He rocks it. He's got the beard.
He's cut up.
I don't have any like great desire to defend Redbird, but I think he might actually be the best player in this roster.
Yeah.
So
Really?
maybe that's
no,
just me, but
I see it. I see it. Like,
not because I think Redbird is huge. Again, I'm not like here to defend him or anything. He's had like a very bad split, but the rest of the roster,
I think he
I
might
don't
be the
know,
second
man.
best player.
I think it's
hey, maybe.
I think
I
it's
think
a lot
Lonely's the
easier to look at least like you're doing okay if you are in any role but support. But if you're in bot lane with an AD carry that every time we
That's
load onto the
just-
desk, somebody goes, well, it is Raven, which is really rough also, by the way.
Yep.
I'm so
but
sorry.
it
I
is.
Sorry,
really
But
do
it
I
is,
have
but it,
to.
but it is Raven.
Yeah,
it is Raven though.
But if you're the support of a guy that when we load on, everybody goes, well, just remember Raven's playing out of the bot lane. I don't think
We're good.
Redbert's, in the best position to show us what he does well. That's, probably not a
No.
hot
That's true.
take.
Yeah, the meta's weird for him too. I feel like the champions he's good on aren't really in the meta right now. That's a different thing, but yeah, we're really on the what's going on with Redbird train so far. I feel like
I will say, like, as something that I'm curious about over the next couple weeks, even when Rel was meta, like last year, 2 years ago, something like that, whenever she came out, Redbert wasn't really great Rel player. Like he was outclassed on that champion, and so I am really curious about Kaboom, because even though I don't think that they're in danger of winning a game super soon, I do want to see Redbert on that champion and see whether he has improved, because that's going to be a big test of like, is this guy done, or is he actually like consciously continuing to improve on things that he's lacking in?
certainly.
Yeah.
Sorry about
We'll
that.
have to wait and see with Redbert.
No,
No, that's fine.
it's good.
I
That's
appreciate you
Redbird.
and your
Everything you
takes.
need to know about Redbird.
Sorry
folks.
about that. Yeah.
Now you
that's,
know
that's
it.
just Redbert. Okay, right. Leaving Redbert for the time being. The only other team that I want to touch on before we look at favorite moments is Furia. Has Furia been solved? Do they still have as high a ceiling as we all thought they might have? Or are we just going to settle into the kind of 5th and 6th spot that they're currently in 7th? They're currently actually outside of playoffs by 1 win. So, does anyone have any thoughts on Furia?
Can I take that on Furia? Because I've been high on Furia. I've been high on all the teams that are like middle of the pack, lots of young guys, lots of Brazilian talent. And so I want to say this about Furia. I think Furia and the people at Furia, the organization, did a really good job of identifying really solid up-and-coming young talent, giving them everything they need to succeed, and also just being those guys that like identify good talent and then just say yes to them whenever they ask for something. So like, hey, we want to play Neela Belveth. Is that cool? Yes, just go. And eventually, that was always going to hit a wall. You know, you can't just keep innovating on the fly forever. Not everything you try is going to work. Eventually, just having 19-year-old hands won't get you all the way to Worlds, right? You have to have some kind of structure built up behind you, some kind of framework, some kind of plan. I think this last week we saw Furia hit that wall a little bit, and it doesn't bother me that much. I think this is just like a speed bump in their continued growth. They don't have a roster with a ton of veterancy. I think these are like growing pains for them that they're going to get over. But reality, they just had some really bad drafts and made a couple really bad macro decisions against a team that was willing to punish them. And I think that they are going to get better as the split progresses. I think they're doing just fine.
I will say something that was pretty cool. I just earlier today I watched an interview that MyZ Esports did with SBS, who is the Korean coach. He came from, I believe, Nongshim, or like the Nongshim Academy system over in the LCK, and he said that when he was given the choice of like, oh, where do I want to, like he was looking at like different offers he had, and like one that really intrigued him about Furia was the chance to work with IU specifically. Which I think is extremely dope. And I think often you see, like, to Axeman's point, like, it feels like they're letting these guys be themselves, right? Like, yeah, okay, these drafts are kind of, rough sometimes. Like, Zai is not IU, with all due respect. He can't play the Belveth support. The Neela, okay, it's not the best idea, but they're letting them be themselves. Even because, like, I feel like so often when you bring in, like, outside coaching talent, right? Like, if I would have told you, like, oh, Furia is going to have this, like, all youth team, they're going to have Maestro, who's, like, one of the, one of, if not the greatest Brazilian coach of all time. I think he's up there. Outside of Peter Dunn, who's not Brazilian, but he's still regarded in, like, that god tier, because he coached the Exodia teams, right? And, like, if I told you, oh, it's going to be Furia, it's going to be a youth-heavy team, and they're going to bring in a Korean coach, you say, oh, that makes sense. He's going to help them kind of, like, work on their fundamentals, right? No. He's, like, letting them do whatever the hell they want, right? He's letting them be themselves. And that's awesome. And that's something that he talked about was, like, look, like, I want to expand these kids' champion pools. 2, younger players have a tougher time on stage. And so I want them to be on champions that they're comfortable on to help kind of like bridge that gap between scrims and stage. And I thought that was I thought that was extremely sick.
Yeah, for sure. It does feel like it's a talent scouting development project, right? It hit the ground running really fast because the talent is really sick. So like, we've seen this multiple split 2 rosters show us something, right? INTZ primarily, because we always knew Fluxu had the talent to be good. They just couldn't really bring it together, and we've still not seen enough to be certain that that's happened yet. But INTZ were dog in split 1. They were very bad, and they have now developed, and they're now 5-3, and they're now solidly playoffs and are contesting our top teams in games, despite having nowhere near the firepower on the roster that the other ones do, just like by nameplates. So that is, development rosters are real. Furia has been lauded as the best talent scouting org in the region and has shown that. So I think all I really want to see is at least most of these players stick with this team for split 123, 24, I should say. Because obviously it's a longer offseason. This is a time when a lot of shuffles happen. The CPL obviously usually has a lot of shuffles. We're just moving out of that recently, getting into teams sticking with more players. Like Payne has been one of the few proponents of that for a long time. And I would like to see them stick together and grow a bit more. Or at the very least, if they don't have to be on Furia, but stick together wherever you go. Because I like what I'm seeing. I like the talent. And I do want to see what this team can do.
Yeah, if they broke up this Furia roster mid-split, that would be wild. That would be so
mid-split
wild
would
to
be
me.
absolutely bonkers, with
there's
like
just no
the
way,
knowledge
but
coming in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
people
love
will
a
revolt.
2024 to keep the roster together. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Right. We should probably move forward to favorite moments.
Okay.
Because we're on the clock here,
Yeah.
lads. Now, since I brutally stole #1 spot last time because it was my boy House and I couldn't leave him, I will now palm it off and take last spot this time. So, Dia, would you like to go first? Do you have a favorite moment from week 4 that you would like to mention?
I do. And
goodness
I hope
gracious,
I'm not
let's hear
stealing it from anyone. It's actually a moment that you were commentating, Trajan. It's when B-Boy lived. B-Boy became the boy who lived. What
Yeah,
on
the
earth
B-Boy who
game
lived.
was that? I don't even
Was that
remember
again? That was
who he
against
was
Liberty when you
playing
did Aphelios
against.
things.
Yeah, it
In bot
was.
lane.
Yeah.
I'm finding the game. We clipped it on our top 5 plays. So actually, if you're
Mhm.
watching this on YouTube,
Yeah.
go
That's
check out our
against
top 5
Liberty.
plays.
Pretty sure.
But B-Boy just decided to gap everyone. I think it was in their game. Was it against Liberty or was it on Saturday?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Liberty.
It was Liberty. They tried to
Also-
just like kind of a half-hearted engage onto him, and he turned around and like double crit them with Infernum, ult,
Yeah.
and Q, and just murked the
He-
entire
Also,
He
team.
also had
Trajan,
like-
I thought you absolutely nailed that call. I thought
yeah.
it was
Great call.
extremely well done. The like, no, I'm kidding. It was a prank. Like, don't. 'Cause to me, that was exactly what that engage felt like. It was like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you think we
Yeah.
could step up? Fuck, shit, fuck, no. Like,
no,
Yeah.
no, please.
And
Yeah.
this podcast is being marked as explicit.
this
Bleep
content is
that
not
out,
for
my bad.
kids, YouTube. Okay,
That's okay.
this is serious.
It's
But
a
yeah, I
serious
appreciate
content.
that. It was a heck of a play, heck of an Aphelios moment. Glad we're still getting Aphelios moments, even as the meta expands. We've always got Aphelios moments coming through. 404.
From B-Boy,
why don't-
definitely.
for B-Boy especially, yeah. B-Boy and Root will always have something for us in the tank there. 404, why don't you give us a moment?
it's. I'm gonna go like a couple of games or a couple of plays in a game
Yeah.
rather.
Okay.
That's allowed. I'll
I
allow it.
thought Ranger on Rel, dude, he played his behind off. He was
did.
getting like every freaking angle. Like if there was a game for Los Grandes to win, it had to be that one.
Oh my god.
And
Please. Yeah.
He did everything he could. He found so many creative angles. There was one where he like I don't know if he flashed or hex flashed over the wall. It was against like on Barren River, like kind of like by that little like banana brush you're supposed to ward if you're a good support, which I always try to do, but always either get myself picked or die when I try to.
Yeah.
But I thought I'm just really really happy because I mean Ranger to be fair he makes himself a bit of an easy target right with his big personality and whatnot, and I know he knows that comes with the territory, but I'm happy to see that the least of Los Grandes' problems are not Ranger, especially as the meta moves towards engaged supports. Right, it's cool to see his jungler instincts. Right, his I mean I he's like me for real. In that he plays supports that are like supports and junglers that are just like engage, tank, and spank. Like if someone steps up, I throw a skill shot their way. And so a bit of personal bias there for sure. But I'm happy to see him improving because his beginning of the split was not great, but he has improved a lot. And I think, despite the absolute dumpster fire that is Los Grandes split so far, that game got me really, really excited. It was very cool to see.
Yeah. It was wild. It gave us a little bit of hope. Now that maybe the roster's settled down and we're just going to play with these 5. Let's just play the split out. There's no help for just changing it again. I don't think we're saving the split one way or another. Let's just try and see what we can achieve, right, with this.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way for them to do it.
Play it out.
Axeman, hit us with the moment.
My
Axe.
favorite moment from the weekend is a little selfish. I cast it with Dia, and it was a great call. Truly excellent call. It was the ill-fated 3v1 dive onto Lonely up in the top lane.
Oh, yeah.
That was
And
fun.
I remember it was like
That was
watching a car wreck in slow motion, the way you just kind of see a car
Yeah.
maybe a half mile down the highway, and you just suddenly see a hubcap pop off one of the sides, and you're like, huh, that's weird. And the hubcap rolls for a little bit, and it hits another car, and then that car starts swerving, and you're like, whoa. And now they're about 300 feet away from you, and you're like, these cars look like, oh, God. And then all of a sudden, it's over, and you're just left there in the aftermath, and everybody's dead, and it's bodies everywhere.
In retrospect, that's how I should have
tough.
commentated it. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are bodies everywhere.
it was just,
As
it
a
was
brutal
so
tragedy.
it was so painfully obvious right from the get-go that it was just not going to work and that it was just a huge waste of time and that none of the lane matchups could afford to be using this time trying to dive Lonely. He had all the cards, and honestly, it was miraculous he only killed one of those guys.
And he dinged 6 at the perfect time too.
Yeah,
which was,
actually.
like,
Yes.
so clutch. I called it
dream.
out way too late, but as it happened, I was like, oh my god, this man is like blessed by the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
the
sure
level
after-
6 really was the hubcap. Like if you could blink and miss it, but it's what started everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, such a great play. It's in the top 5 plays as well if you want to go back and watch that.
And
I
you
think
do.
it's like number 4 or something.
You do.
But that was an incredible moment. Also, Lonely really needed the W. I'll go ahead and say it. It was
the personal W. Let the record
the
show.
personal W.
Yeah.
Yeah, the personal W.
There were no team W's.
That was a tough matchup for him, and he really overperformed in it. So well done.
Yeah. He's been trying. He's been trying his little heart out. This split Lonely has, and maybe eventually it'll pay off, but
God bless
I
him.
can only live in hope. God bless him, he's trying. Okay, for me, my favorite moment is, I mean, I don't know if anyone's actually surprised by that. It's the How's moment again. It's the moment when LeBlanc finally won a game in the CBLOL, because the context is 13-13, we're getting rid of Static Shiv. They're taking the stupid ratios off it. We're taking League of Static Shiv out of here, so no one's going to play it anymore. But I can go to bed and sleep soundly knowing that we as a region did not completely miss the boat on the most broken thing on the patch the entire time it was good. You know, we managed to win a game with it. Tinones then showed up and just like 1v9'd on it the next game. So we worked out LeBlanc just in time for it to be put in the bin where it belongs. You know, we took a little too long to adapt to it that I would have loved, but someone worked it out.
The
Thank
toy was
goodness.
fun.
Yes, the toy was fun. Someone had fun with it finally, and now we can put it. We can put in a jumble sale or something. So that gave me a bit of faith. And realistically, Tino's performance was definitely the best LeBlanc performance that we've seen. But he's just on a tear right now. So fair play to him. But yeah, I'm glad that we worked out LeBlanc before we can get rid of it, so that we can do this. We can pick up the picks. Ivern as well. We picked up and had good times with that. So we've got meta adaptations here as well
I'll
as
miss
pockets. So
Ivern
I enjoyed that.
if and when Ivern goes.
Ivern's fun, man.
Yeah.
Ivern's a silly old champion. I like him. I like seeing him on my Rift. He's ridiculous in the best possible way. Okay, as always seems to happen when I'm roughly at the helm with this and we end up talking about last week way too much, let's move forward to our first random discussion topic here. We just got the one discussion topic before we palm it over to 4x4 for some hashtag content, some games, some segments. I want to talk about Loud versus Red. I introduced this one talking about Red, asking how much faith we had. We seem pretty good about Red. They're hilarious, they're very CBLOL, but they're also very good, right? And Loud, according to Seos, on week 3, I believe, in an interview, said that by the end of this week, they'd be the best team in CBLOL, again, as they have been for 2 splits in a row. Do we believe him? Is he right? Are they the best team in CBLOL? They do have 5 wins on the trot, and they are looking better every game. So Loud versus Red, who's actually the best right now? Because Red are particularly sus, but they have such a high ceiling. And Loud are kind of returning to fearsome terror Loud form. So who's got an opinion? Who's got a choice to offer up, one or the other, and some reasons?
Oh God.
I'll take it. Loud is the best team. On my confidence picks, I'm going to be picking Loud probably every single game from here on out until they lock top 2, at which point maybe they take their foot off the gas. But they are just flying right now. I heard it described as like it was like a countdown clock. It was like, oh, everyone's trolling. Okay, now everyone but Tinones is trolling. Tinones and Sales are no longer trolling. Holy crap, just Robo is trolling. Oh shit, they're back.
Yeah. Yeah. We're somewhere between Robo's trolling and we're back right now. We are
exactly.
fast towards we're back.
Robo had a good laning phase and he team fought well. He didn't get absolutely put in the bin in lane. I think they're just gonna keep rolling. Loud versus Pain to round out the games on Sunday.
Oh my God,
isn't it?
Oh, it's gonna be so much fun.
I'm going to decease.
Oh, that's gonna be so much fun. I think just Loud and I feel like they're just playing with no pressure right now. Like they started scrimming 3 days before the regular season started. Regular season started on that Saturday. Wednesday, they picked up their mice and keyboard coming back from MSI, and they were like, "Yeah, new patch. What's this?" And of course, it didn't go hot for them at the start, but like they're just on cruise control right now. I think they know they're playing with house money. Whereas Red, I think there's still expectations, right? There's still that we haven't proven anything yet, right? Playoffs, different animal. But I think in the regular season, Loud will be the favorites in every single game they play.
Sure. Okay.
I think it's close. I don't know how
It is.
close you're thinking 4x4, but like I'm kind of like tightroping it right now. I'm like, oh, oh.
Yeah.
And I think that for the sake of our discussion right now, I'm gonna go with red because
Yeah.
Loud have been steadily improving, but I think that the individual members of Red have less variability in their gameplay. Robo. And
Certainly one individual.
yeah, I
Yeah.
and I think that's it. I mean, Root is good. Root doesn't go as hard as Titan right now, and he hasn't had to. Fair enough. Tinones is probably my favorite player just because that's the character arc that
We
I've
know
been on
this.
for the past 3 years.
Yeah. We know this.
And so I don't want to like vote against Tinones, but I do think that right now, like snapshot of where we are in the CB lull, Red is still better. I think you run these teams against each other 10 times, which never happened because we play best of ones, but we run these teams against each other 10 times. I think Red wins 6 and Loud wins 4.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I would take red 3-2 in a 5v in a best of 5 right now. And it's
Okay.
like because one of the games Robo just sacks off entirely and loses the whole game for his team.
Yeah.
The rest of it is fairly close. I think that I'm not 100% sold back. And at some point, I think I'm just living on the hopium that FNB will finally translate to playoffs, right?
Yes.
Like he's currently he's better right now. He is better right now.
Mhm.
Whether he's better than Wiser right now, that's a question, but he's definitely better than Robo right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Aegis is also better than Croc right now. Pretty definitively. The rest of it is tough, right? You know, Seos I would probably give that to. I'd probably give it to Tinones, and then Root, as you say, I think Titan goes a little harder. But in terms of the damage that a player can do on an off day, I think that Root's off day does very little damage, whereas Robo's off day does a lot of damage. And same with Croc. So I would give it to Red in a best of 5. It would be an absolute clanger of a series, and I can't wait to hopefully see it in like first round of playoffs. That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just about give it to Red right now.
I think 2 weeks from
least.
now, if we continue to see like a trajectory from Loud, it'll be a very easy. Like right now, we're working with basically where they started the split and where they are right now.
Yeah.
And so if we give it like 2 more weeks into this next round robin, they face off against 1 or 2 other like really good teams. I think we can come back to this discussion and go, well, now we probably have our answer. Like we can actually start making playoffs predictions.
What is exciting is Loud's next 4 games. Los Grandes, Pain, Fluxu, Red.
At least they get it all out of the way, hey?
Yeah.
They're
is the
gonna
test
have
coming up.
Gauntlet in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I wish I had some kind of tiebreaker. I really only have more obfuscation and conjecture.
Please.
So hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully that's what you
That's
came
all,
here for.
That's all we're doing here.
That's all I have. So on the cast Saturday, I said Loud we're back. You know, big triumphant return, all of that stuff. I think my overarching narrative for the last 3 years of casting this region has been, man, I love FNB. If this guy just had a team, he would win the whole league and he could win worlds. And now he has a team, and I gotta come through on that, right? Because I've been saying it for years now. And yeah, I'm gonna go through with it. I think Red are the best. My other issue is that I'm running out of slots in the top 2 because I keep saying teams are definitely top 2, but there can't be 6 teams in the top 2.
It's very stacked up there.
I think I've said it about Furia, Fluxu, Red, INCZ, Loud, you know, all these teams, and they're all looking very good. Have failed me, all of them by now at one point or another. But yeah, if you're asking between Red and Loud, I would say Red. I would say Red. I would have to go.
Right.
Yeah,
So a general favorite towards Red, but Loud is sharking behind them.
They're back.
And until we see them play, there's no real way to split them because Loud are always going to be weighed down by that first week and a half. They're just like they just have to live with that, and Red didn't have to deal with it. So ultimately, I expect Red to finish above them purely because Loud have 3 wins, or at least 2 losses they shouldn't have probably. But That's why, hopefully, we can have Loud ending up in 4th by the virtue of having too many losses, and then we have 1st versus 4th Red Loud round 1. That's the dream.
Yeah, it's a dream.
That's what we want. Right, let's skip forward here. Let's take it on and palm it over to our man in the top right here, 4y4. Now, I will switch up the order just a little bit to make sure we can use the time as best as possible. Let's do over-unders first.
right.
If you're good to kick us off with that, 4y4. Over to you, sir.
All right. So I have some over unders, and we can do it. Everyone takes everyone. If you have a strong opinion, feel free to jump in. And we'll just get right into it. All right,
Let's do it.
So Loud have 5 wins right now. So that means they're 5-3 at the time of the recording. They've got 10 wins or 10 games left. Over under 8.5 more wins of those 10.
Okay,
8.5.
sorry.
So over
I need to
9
use
wins.
my
Ooh.
brain.
Okay, this
So
is-
there,
So
you're-
9 or more, or 8 or fewer.
Yeah, like 1 loss or more than 1 loss.
Yeah,
That's
basically,
crazy,
yeah, 1 loss
considering
or
Red
more
and
than 1
Pain
loss.
exist.
so it's whether they beat every team this round robin.
It's
Apart from
whether they lose to
Or-
one team or 2 or more, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 or more.
So
Easy.
you think under 8.5 wins?
Under 8.5.
Under.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. And what team is this?
Loud.
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 Winners of 5 in a row.
I think that I'm gonna go that they don't drop that much. They drop.
They play everyone once and Los Grandes twice.
Yeah, they play Los Grandes twice. Los Grandes are not gonna. They're not gonna
Ooh.
change
It's
that.
not going to affect the outcome.
Los
Yeah.
Grandes twice.
I
So
I
basically
think
they
it's
play everyone
over.
once.
I think that I call that right. Yeah, they're over 8.5. So
So
Yeah.
you think they're
Lose
going to
less than
drop
1 game.
1 or fewer games? They're going to win
Yes.
9 or 10 of their last 10 games.
yes.
All right.
Pain looks so good, man. RMC's not here. I have to take over Pain ownership, so someone does. Like, I think Pain look just
Wiser is him.
disgracefully good. They look like the actual best team, honestly. If we're really being honest right now, in terms of quality of gameplay, Pain
I think
look like the
that's
actual best team in the last couple of weeks. Like, not to speak of what's going to happen when the chips are down, because we know what's going to happen when the chips are down. But right now, they are Giga Astro Mondo stomping everybody, and it looks so easy. So I will go for under because I think they'll lose to Red and Pain.
Okay.
I see it. I think Pain don't make a lot of mistakes, but they also don't. I think they just take advantage of other teams making mistakes, which is fine. But I don't think Loud is going to make them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Loud
what
will
I
also potentially punish them a lot more than other teams will, right? They'll like
Yeah.
force them potentially into an error that like Loss do. Why are we hating on Loss so much? Let's use Liberty.
Just
instead.
catching
that,
straight
that,
every
that
third
Liberty would
sentence.
not force them into, you know. Lost versus Liberty, that's going to be a clanger for sure. I'm looking forward to that game
Yeah.
because
It's going to be good.
Liberty's only one back and they almost beat Red. So I don't know, man. That's real match of the
Yeah,
week whenever that one
Liberty
rolls around.
Los
Roster
Grandes is
changes.
going through that. Like, if over the course of a journey you replace each part of the ship, is it still the same ship?
Yeah.
Is it still Los Grandes? Yeah. It's just Rangers like headpiece on the front of the ship and the rest of it is all like completely different.
That's real. That's real.
That's
All right, what's our next over under for?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Over under 30% chance Loud wins the split.
Over.
Over.
I have to give them
Over.
over.
Loud
I mean, if
or
we're saying they only
literally
lose one
anyone else.
game,
Loud wins the split, Loud does not win the split.
so wait, is
Yeah.
is winning the split winning playoffs, or is winning the split
Winning
winning
playoffs.
the split?
Winning playoffs.
Win
Winning
playoffs.
playoffs.
Oh,
That's why I'd give them more.
Over.
I give them
Yeah.
more than 30.
30%
I give them
chance.
under 30 for winning regular season, for first regular season, but I
Yeah,
give them
I
over
think that's
30 for winning the
possible. We're
split.
clear that Loud is a different team.
They've got too much juice, man. When it goes down, no, they've got too much sauce. The juice was bad. I think we decided this
Yes, the
Mm.
juice
on a
is
previous
bad.
episode. Juice
Yeah,
is
yeah.
bad. They've got too much sauce to give them under 30.
They've got too much of the moyo, I think.
They've got too much.
Yeah.
They would be, if they did it, they would be the first ever, as they say,
Triple back to
tricampeón.
back.
3 titles in a row. First
oh.
to do it.
And then Robo equals the record as well.
I say it's
Robo.
over 30. It's
I-
not that much over 30 though.
I think it's
Mm.
under 30 because Brazil. They
That's
This
fair,
is-
you know.
this
You've
is
got
me going.
Singapore
This is just not gonna happen. It's too good. You cannot
flawless
reach
logic.
that high in a region that will grab you and slam you down
Yeah,
like
I like that.
CB will. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
it's gonna be not to. This is not a stray. It's gonna be Los Grandes that knocks them out of playoffs or something. Like it's
No,
gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, it'll be
It's-
Furry or Fluxu or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The loud
I hope
fans are getting a bit comfortable, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
getting a bit
clip
too-
this, by the way, so that when it
Yeah.
happens,
When Los Grandes come out swinging from 6th place in the regular split,
yeah.
we'll be there. Be ready.
Lost
It's
fans are
impossible.
gonna.
It's
Oh,
surely
show us.
impossible. Right. All right. Give us the next one, 404.
All right. So in the next offseason, between 2023 split 2 and 2024 split 1, over under 0.5 teams that maintain the exact same roster. So basically, I'm asking
0.5.
over or under 0.5.
I mean, like half the teams
So
retain their
do
roster.
any of them.
Do
Do any of them retain the exact 5?
the
Between
exact
this
five.
split and next split?
Between this split and next split.
I think
between
INTZ
calendar
do.
years.
Over. Yeah, I think over.
They're so committed to these 5
Yours
people
could
now.
be-
We're never
Exact
changing. This is the roster for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Is this?
I'm gonna be retiring from commentary in 80 years, and INTZ are the
Yumpy's still
same
going to be
roster.
picking Nautilus
still
Jungle.
Yampy.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oy,
I think it goes back to what we were saying about Furry. I think if they switch up that roster, it'd be a real shame. And I think that,
Mm.
yeah, they should definitely keep the band together. And I mean, just
I feel
one.
like they'll make
So
one change.
over 0.5, it just has to be one roster. It stays the same. Yeah, it's definitely
I think
over,
I,
right?
I'll be
I think
honest.
I know which change you're
I
thinking
re-
of there, 404.
I really like a lot of top sides. I think that most of our bot lanes are gonna get shuffled around.
Yes. That I wholeheartedly agree with.
Like, yeah, I think that there's an interesting over under that we could take where I think that over 0.5 of teams retain their top side, but bot lane is getting swapped.
Okay, so that brings me to my next one. This isn't really an over under, but I thought of this one.
It's just a question.
In the off season, who is there more demand for? Now, I think one is in a better situation in terms of like job security and like likelihood to stay or leave the team. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if like all things are equal and it is just as easy to buy out or take from their current teams both of these players, is there more demand this offseason for Natuno or Ayu?
Oh,
That is tough, man. The two
probably
knows.
Ayu.
Oh, can we assume they cost the same?
Yeah, again, we're assuming
Yeah.
they cost the same and that like just like if it was just as easy, it's like, hi, here's I have an Natuno, I have an Ayu. They're each worth 3 shekels. Like, and everyone has
Yeah.
3 shekels.
Yeah.
That is all of my shekels.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would
But they're
simply
campaigning,
form
you see,
a
right? Trigo will
I
cost you
would
2 shekels.
Okay.
I would simply form a cartel and buy both of them with our joint shekels. That's
Yeah.
And then swap Ayu back
and
to
then I would
support.
I'd put one of them exactly. Yeah, give Embarrass support.
I would sell
I-
2 of my shekels and buy a bull, and then I would breed my shekel with the bull.
Like a bow like Bow on the top laner, or like a bow like
Yeah.
the equipment.
Yeah,
I would buy Natuno.
yeah, or maybe that's a way to take the question: is you're a GM, you're starting a team tomorrow. Who's your 80 carry?
My shekels are going in Natuno's pocket. Ayu's out on the street.
I
I-
think
Ayu's just
I
that
agree.
furry. He's not out in the street.
No, he's out on the
think
street.
that-
In my analogy, he's out on the street.
Trajan, I for what it's worth, I agree with you. I would take
Yeah.
Natuno. God love Ayu. Natuno has done it longer and in worse and in good situations and in bad situations. I've seen him perform.
And he's still doing it just as well, in my opinion.
It's not even that long a data set. Like Natuno's only been in the league since what 2020, basically, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, that's
He's
not all
young
that
and
long.
fresh.
Yeah.
You know.
My thing, so in a pure like value sense, I would take IU, but given the situation IU is in right now, if I was a GM that wasn't on Furia, I would just be really worried about like breaking IU. somehow.
Mm.
Like he seems like he's in a really good situation right now.
Yeah,
Like he's got a
because
lot of
then
good things
you're the
going
guy that
for him.
ruined IU.
Yeah, then I'm the
Yeah.
guy that broke him, right? Like why would I take this guy out of almost like you see like a golden retriever or something at a happy home and you're like, man, I could
can't.
steal that dog, but it would be
Do I
so
want that golden
traumatized
retriever? Yes.
that it wouldn't
Really happy right now. Also,
it
yes.
wouldn't be the same if I had it. You know what I mean? Like it just
Yeah.
leave him with Furia. He's probably happier there. But
That's how I feel about
Netsuno
having children in general.
Netsuno's a freelancer. He's a
He's-
freelancer. You're
That
buying
is
him.
mad as hell. I'll be honest. Like, there's no way he's not mad as hell right now. He's one foot out the door.
So I do think if I were gonna buy one of them, it'd be Netsuno. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Dia,
I
where
think
who's claiming your shekels?
I totally get where you guys are coming from. I think I'd go with IU, because
You're gonna break IU.
I'll
because
do it just to break him. That's why I do.
Yeah.
I will break IU.
I think that I think in the CBLOL, they're like two polar opposite players. Like one is giving you this extraordinarily consistent AD carry, and one is giving you somebody who I think is just future proof. Like IU is almost as good as Netuno. They are in the same conversation in terms of like rankings of all CBLOL ADCs. And yet I think that looking at IU and his champion pool and how young he is and how much he's already done proactively to improve himself, I think that investment is going to pay off longer term. So as a GM, that's who I'm looking at.
I like that business sense though, because IU, if
Yeah.
you take him and like let's say he just like runs the CBLOL the next 3 years, and then in 2025, knock knock, hi, it's G2. We
Yeah.
want IU. Here's 10 million shekels.
Yeah.
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 And then
my
you
bully
become
on
Yeah.
the streets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The guy
exactly.
that finally
Yeah.
exported the CBLOL talent abroad.
Don't
Yeah.
need the ball anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Huh.
I
I
it's
think it could go either
reasonable.
way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. As long as your your venture capitalist team funder doesn't pull all of your shekels because you didn't win instantly and then IU's out on the street anyway, sadly.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
There's always a risk that IU ends up on the street regardless, but you know.
Netuno is never on the street.
Netuno's never on the street.
If I was on the street, I will let him play for my Clash team because even on 100 ping, he'll
Yeah,
win.
Netuno would run the streets, bro.
Yeah.
IU doesn't run those streets. Netuno runs the streets. Completely speculative opinion from me. Anyway, right. let's move on to the next thing. Let's do some more tweet reviews. Let's do some more anonymous tweets for because I enjoyed that last time, and I was obviously almost owned on the last one, but
So-
not quite because I didn't quite fall for the trap. So
What are the categories? Just so I can write them down.
There aren't really categories. It's just like I'm gonna read you tweets or opinions, and then you have to agree with them. They could come from a piss random Twitter account. They could come from a well-respected journalist,
I like
caster,
agree or disagree.
or maybe even you. Because last week I gave Trajan his own quote right back to him. I was like, I heard an opinion that's like VKS are gonna miss playoffs. What do you think? And you were like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, good, because you said that on the cast literally 2 days ago.
Crushed it. I think if you wanted to have a category to try and guess, you can probably have like Twitter reply guy versus talent or like professional, potentially like esports professional, because we had some journalists takes on before, and we had some talent like myself, and we had some piss randoms. So like maybe
like
you could have
professional
like
versus freelance.
yeah,
opinion.
maybe we could say like for freelance Twitter repliers. So you could have like randoms on Twitter, maybe org staff, and then like other kind of on-air personalities or like journalists and talent, kind of to give you 3 categories to choose from.
Okay.
Or maybe you could just go other if you think it's a wild card, because obviously I have no idea what these tweets are, so it could be none of them. But
Okay, sounds good.
we'll see.
Let's do it for
Yeah.
4.
All right.
Yeah.
First one. I like Static Shiv. It's good for the pace of the game. No need to nerf it.
No /s. No.
Monka asked. I don't even know what Monka anything means. I don't know why I said that.
Dear.
It's like wait.
Okay, so who's the wrongest person on Twitter? Who's like the
And
most
remember,
incorrect?
I say tweets. Some of these are tweets. Some of these are just opinions I have
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
not
Who's like the
necessarily on
most
the internet or
incorrect
Twitter.com.
league personality that's ever?
So we're trying to guess who said that?
I want your take on it, and then I want you to guess who said it.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to agree with it, right?
Or disagree with it.
Or
Well,
something?
yeah, you
Oh,
don't
I
have
can
to
disagree?
agree with
Yeah,
it.
I
mean,
personally wouldn't agree with this one.
I'll agree with anything, man. Hey, whatever you got.
Yeah.
3 shekels.
But no, it's
3 shekels
the,
is worth it.
for
My
3 shekels. I'll
integrity
agree with
for
your
3
static shift
shekels.
takes.
Yeah.
But no, it's
that
it's
has
wrong,
to be a
surely.
random, right? Like,
One more time. Read it again one more time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like this. I like Static Shiv. It's fun for the pace of the game. No need to nerf it.
Oh, was that me? Oh, no.
It's just-
No. Wait,
I'm
wait,
so
wait.
I'm so deep
Wait,
in
wait,
your
wait.
head.
No.
Like
The pace of the game.
What? Yeah.
Oh.
What I want to know is what CBLOL team built the most static shivs this
Yeah,
past
which
weekend, and
coach
then it's their coach.
built the
Yeah.
most shivs. Yeah, I think it's based actually, because we stalled out the game for 40 minutes and
Yeah.
won. So
So we have to agree or disagree with that. I agree with that in so much as it removes wave clear from the game, as like an intrinsic property that champions have,
Mhm.
rather than something you could just build. And I think just having wave clear built into your kit is something that a lot of players have relied on for far too long. I think just one tricking something like the Tristana or any big wave clear champion is something that's often left on the cutting room floor when you're balancing champions. And I think that having an item in the game that really lets you clear waves for any champion, whether you're AD or AP, is actually really good for the game.
honestly, Axe, when you started talking, I was like, you should not continue speaking, but you justified that point actually decently. I don't agree
you
with
brought
you,
it home.
but you brought it home. You
Yeah.
landed
Yeah,
the plane.
I think it depends what you value about League of Legends, but I kind of see this tweet as coming, like, I could see it coming from a coach, because like wave clear is one of those things that you just have to do. Instead, if you view it as one of the things that's like separate from the game and setting up objectives and all that, it's just one of the things that you have to go send somebody to do. It's just, you go clear this wave. You have to worry about it all the time, because it's technically going to happen, but nobody's doing it. And so Static Shiv lets people do that faster and get back to playing the game faster, and the game where you're interacting with other champions as opposed to with just things that they've thrown around the map. So I think it came from a coach, and I think that's why I don't think I agree, because I like enchanters and supports, and so I need people to be clearing waves so that they're on vision and I can put wards down.
I think it's just too good at the job that it does. I think having wave clear items is legit and fine. I liked original static shift. I would build it on Jin because I liked having wave clear. That was like easier, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when Kennen top is building static shiv and then full AP, that's surely not working as intended. When the Blanc is going static shiv Night Harvester, this is surely not working as intended. They've got Ludens, they have like an item that does splash damage, and mages all have better wave clear as standard in their kits. Almost all, right? We'll give almost all. But like are more likely to have that. I don't personally mind having like wave clear as a consideration to like a champion pick, or at least something you can exploit in a game. I don't think people should ever be like drafting like, oh, we don't have wave clear in our comp. But if you have like, oh, how do we adjust to the fact that we have more or less wave clear? I think that's a reasonable strategic decision to make. But I think that it's just too good at it. I think it needs to be nerfed, because right now I think it's bad for the pace of the game because everyone can build it and stall the game. But definitely don't like remove it. Don't change it. Just tune down just a bit so we don't one shot every single wave maybe. Because then like Zeri just doesn't have to engage with the game at all for 20 minutes, right? Like
I have a dumb question to direct to our color commentator.
Yes.
Axeman.
Oh,
this one's
is that
for
me?
you.
Game.
Yeah.
That's
what's
you.
up, buddy?
Why
The
is
soul
Ari not building
brain.
static shiv?
Ari already has tons of wave clear.
Yeah, so does like you know what I'm saying, like it just makes that better. She's already pretty mobile. People used to build, and it was dumb, but they used to build AD Ari. Like
So
Yeah,
when you
it was
think
fun.
of like how I'm trying to build Ari, I want you to think of like you're like a reconnaissance soldier or something, right? And you're tasked with like going behind enemy lines because you got to go get the important guy, and you're trying to find this big flank, right? You're going to be in a lot of dangerous situations. You have limited resources to get out of those situations, but because of the skills you have, you can do it, right? That's kind of where you build Ari out from. So you're building her with like more sustain, not sustain, more survivability, more utility, because everything she needs to do her job is built into her kit. So she goes like Everfrost, tries to build more survivability items, tankier items, stuff like that, rather than just like pure burst. So that's kind of what she's looking for. Is she wants to get behind your enemy line, and she wants to destroy your carries, and that's very dangerous. So she builds a little bit more safe.
You just made playing Ari sound really exciting. I'll be honest.
It is
I
very
know
exciting.
it's
Very cool.
impossible, but the man did it. It's interesting because like on some level it feels like she's building a lot of utility, and then wave clear is just like another job she can do. But also then surely she does so little damage that like what's the point if you then drop one of your AP items? You already got Everfrost Banshees, you already have 0 AP,
Yeah.
and then you drop one of those, you delay that even longer to build a goddamn static shiv. Like you're clearing waves and you do nothing else. You have no other role other than maybe pressing Everfrost once you've built it second. Like that just seems like it takes so long to do anything. And then once you get there, you do so little damage as to be painful, right? So, gosh darn, that would be lame. Because even LeBlanc, if you go LeBlanc like Static Shiv Night Harvester, you can still do damage. But maybe that's why. But yeah, I'm glad no one tried it. I can say that. I'm glad no one tried the Ari Static Shiv because that would have broken me for
That was
sure.
one of the things on Cash that I was like, I should keep this question to myself and ask it later.
Yes, this is gonna tilt whoever I ask.
Yeah. 4x4. What's
all
our
right?
next
Who gave it to us? Who gave us that tweet? Before we move on?
You guys made that into a much more interesting discussion than I was expecting we could from this. So
sorry, man.
No, hats off to you guys. That's good.
That's why you always keep a color on the desk.
Exactly. So that was House.
Wow.
That was House.
House
No!
after he got that win on LeBlanc Static Shiv.
Oh, House.
He was like, I enjoy it. He's like it allows. He said it's like it allows me to push the pace of the game as a mid laner. He said he feels like he has more agency.
He's been corrupted. No.
Yeah. So he does not want to nerf. He said he had a blast playing it.
So we're
he won. I'm sure he had a blast.
No one else had a blast.
But I'm sure there are people who, even though they won, are like, this is bullshit. He just had like a smile on his face. He was like, there's no need to nerf this. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
X-Men?
So not to, because I guess we're running short on time, but not to like double down on my earlier point, but like LeBlanc is one of those champions where I feel like it's actually so good for the game because LeBlanc is one of those champions that wants to get kind of fed, sit in the side lane and rely on her ability to get out of like rotations, stuff like that, and just scale up that way. And what the wave clear does for her is that it enables her to be valuable in the side lane, right? Which is something you don't have without that wave clear. So it's one of those instances where it's actually really positive. Like if you just put Static Shiv on Tristana, it's just overload wave clear. Why is this in the game? It doesn't make sense. But on LeBlanc, it's actually really cool.
All right. Next one. If Loud win the split, Tinons is your new GOAT over BRTT.
I'm stepping out of this conversation. Tinons is already my GOAT, so
yeah, this is like we don't let RMC speak on the pain things. Like this is just not fair.
So this wasn't this can't have been a tweet.
It would give Robo. It would tie him for most titles with BRTT, and it would give Tinons 5. It would put him one below BRTT. But this opinion expresses that Tinons, I would imagine, because to do with longevity, although BRTT has had a very long career, but he was only in the league 1 year longer than Tinons.
Yeah.
BRTT was in the league, or he won his first title in 2013. I don't know when he technically started, but like before 2013 is ancient history, as far as I'm concerned.
True.
But Tinons has been doing it since 2014. That's when he won his first title. Tinons is your new GOAT if he wins his 5th title, the split, because he becomes also the first ever 3 in a row.
It's real and based, and a Portuguese commentator said it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's concise and well executed. I think that for me, I did not watch enough of BRTT's games at the time to really speak on this. So like the comparison that I would draw here for any who watches and in the call who knows anything about F1, the discussion as to whether Lewis Hamilton is the greatest of all time or Michael Schumacher is the greatest of all time. Now, they currently have the same number of titles, and Lewis Hamilton has a lot more like other statistics that I think make it easier. But when he was one down, when he was 6 to Michael Schumacher 7, and people were thinking like, is he yet? It's so hard to sway the general populace if he just hasn't won as many belts. You know what I mean? I think that based on watching them and performance and impact, you can say one or the other. And there might be an argument for Tinones there based on how important he is, right? I think this is why I would never put Robo into that conversation, because Robo has lost loud far too many games, whereas Tinones just hasn't, right? Like, I think Tinones is better than Robo is, just as a player, in my opinion. So I would say that even though he's one down in titles, I think Tinones, I would pick him over Robo. And I can't say for sure if I'd pick him over BRTT, because I haven't watched enough tape of BRTT. So until he's won as many titles, I think I can't commit to that, basically.
I will say, to your point of Robo losing them too many games, I feel like I can hear BRTT's Samira going, "Hold my beer." Like,
Plenty of L's were required.
Is Tinones the all-time kill leader, or is that
He
something
is.
I made up?
Yes.
He is.
He is.
I think that makes him the GOAT.
That's good.
I think that makes him the GOAT. I'm not gonna lie.
Do
The other
you
guy
like-
played AD
do you
carry.
like
I know they're
kills?
very kill heavy position.
we do like our kills. We
Over
do
an
like our
AD carry
kills.
player, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Mm.
impressive.
It kind
A
of makes me
Draven
want to
player,
give it
no
to
less.
Tinones. And yeah, I mean he plays big champions, he plays big fun champions too. Yeah, I'll give Tinones the GOAT. FMB's coming for the crown though, man.
He's not.
Believe you me, he's coming for the
I
crown.
love FNB. Clearly not as much
Viewer,
as you.
look
but
into
a
my
lot.
eyes. FMB is coming for the crown at some point. Please.
We'll
Please,
check back in
FMB, if you're
2030.
watching this, just
Check back
do
in
it, man.
2030.
I know
Please
you
come
can.
for the crown.
FNB is one of the top 2 players in his role.
Just forever and always.
Yeah.
He's always
4x4.
there.
Do you want to do one
The
more and then
pain-
we'll pop over to our next
Yeah.
activity?
One more. All right. That one. That one was me, by the way.
Oh,
Is that you? Yeah.
So wait,
So-
was I
You were
right?
kind of right. You were
half
the
right.
Yeah.
Half right. Half
Mhm.
right.
You're correct. You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
That-
it.
We
Did you
did.
tweet
We round
that?
up, I think, on
I'm
that
gonna
one.
like that tweet.
All right. I did not tweet it.
Oh.
But-
Tweet it.
He didn't
Cringe
commit
on
to
this.
it.
Yeah.
Tweet it.
I'll
Tweet
put
it.
it on the internet.
Word.
Put it on
Tweet
the
it right now.
Yeah.
All right.
That's gonna
Open
spawn
the
in with
tweet.
my
Okay.
And then I'll
retweet.
I'm
report
gonna
it.
read the tweet.
I'll
I'm gonna read this.
report
I'm
it.
gonna read this next one, and then while you guys are discussing, I'm gonna commit to the bid. I'm gonna put this
Okay.
on the internet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right. Since in the last, okay, I'm giving too much context already.
Okay. We're just
Netuno
Okay. Yeah.
is the most elo held player since we have been covering the split. Since we've been
Ninja
covering it,
Kiwi.
since
Nah, it's
2020.
Ninja
And again,
Kiwi.
I'm going to raise other
Ooh.
just so everyone
That's
has
a
their
good
memories
call.
jogged.
Yeah.
Croc on Miners, not on Renzga, because that team went to the finals.
Yeah.
Croc on
Croc.
Croc on Miners.
Mm.
Ninja Kiwi on. You could take
Renzga.
INTZ or Renzga. He's been on
Yeah.
some awful teams.
Mhm.
Cuts on Flamengo.
These are tough. I wouldn't put that there, but
I'd say
want
Tuts on Flamengo in 2022, when he was on Flamengo, before he
Yeah.
went dolphin dived. When he won the championship, obviously not elo held. But
Does-
on the last time he was in that split in tier 1, I think Tuts was quite elo held in that team.
Can we count
And
Redbert on
Crastiel on
now?
Kaboom.
Yes. Yes, we can.
He's like
Redbird on Kaboom,
Yeah.
Crastiel on Kaboom.
Yeah.
But yeah,
anyone on
Netuno,
Kaboom.
Netuno most elo held player since 2020, which is when we've been doing this.
Hmm.
The Ninja Kiwi call is good.
The Ninja Kiwi call is good.
But in INTZ, he didn't look as good in INTZ before this split. He kind of dipped a bit. Renska, yes. But that Renska roster, I think, was just late. They weren't necessarily all bad. But they
Is
were,
the
they were
time
like
frame the
BKS.
last 3 years? Is that what the time frame
Yeah,
is?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Then
there could
it's
be
Ninja
someone like
Kiwi.
2019 or prior.
Ninja Kiwi on Renska, man.
But Loss is
Oh.
so bad now. Natuno is so good.
That is
Oh,
true. That is true.
I just feel so bad for him, man. So like, and you mentioned Croc on minors as well, which is a
Mhm.
decent shout. But so for me, if they're like fully elo held, I want them to be the only good player on that team.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, I
Annie
think
was
that's right.
very good. So I think Croc and Annie together propped up that team. And
Mhm.
together, I wouldn't give them as much weight as Ninja Kiwi or Natuno because they are singularly overperforming on their rosters, in my opinion. So I might go for Ninja Kiwi actually. I might do.
Yeah,
might
I
do.
think I'm going for Ninja Kiwi, and that might I
'Cause-
might be wrong. It feels like
Yeah.
every split that Ninja Kiwi gets put on another team that performs, I
Yeah.
like part of me goes, am I gaslighting myself? Is Ninja Kiwi actually good?
Yeah.
But I really do think he's that good, and I don't know why people aren't
Yeah.
paying for him to be on better rosters.
Yeah, this year with this split, we found out he is good. This split, we found out he literally is, and he
Yeah.
maybe not always was, but he is right now. He's that guy, and he's always had that guy within him,
Mhm.
and he's popping off incredibly hard. So, I think we can safely say you weren't gaslighting yourself. That's for sure.
Okay.
Does anyone
Yeah.
think it is actually, or have another opinion? Axeman, do you think it is Ninja Kiwi, or
Yeah, I
think
think
you
I think it's Ninja Kiwi. Yeah.
I
404? What do you think? Just before we
Yeah.
check.
I think it's probably Ninja Kiwi on Renska because
Yeah.
I think that team, the ceiling was so much lower than
Yeah.
like
He literally penny
than
killed
Los
out the
Grandes.
gate.
Like Los Grandes, all respect, I could see them like I could see them having a 2-0 week like
Mhm.
this split. Like they have it in them. I think they could. That Renska team was awful. They were
Mm.
so bad.
A truly wretched roster. Yeah.
It was.
So just to add to the other part of this game, I think that was one of us on broadcast saying that.
Anybody else want to throw their hat in the ring?
That Natsuno's the most elo hell player.
No, I'm sorry, where it came from.
Yeah.
I think it was one of these other color casters.
I think it might have been Hawk. That sounds like something a Hawk might say.
That does
Ah.
sound like something Hawk would say.
I wasn't gonna name a name. But one of the other color casters.
Okay.
In before it's like Monte Cristo on Twitter.
What if it's not Hawk? What are you guys gonna do? You guys
mean-
gonna send him flowers or something?
I mean, it's still a discussion. It's not a crazy
I can't
thing
fault
to
him
say.
for having that opinion,
And
really.
he also
Like,
wasn't casting the league when Ninja Kiwi was.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he wasn't- he
That's
didn't
true.
see it.
So-
He didn't know better.
He didn't see it.
better.
I think
That's
from
right.
his perspective, it's a reasonable take. It just sounds like something he would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can get behind it. Yeah, this was Hawk.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
For why?
Reveal.
It was a journalist. Boring answer.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Hawk,
Oh, well,
we all
fair
came
enough.
for you, dude. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't think
And I-
think we're
and I
coming
do
for
it
Hawk
again.
by saying that he had a reasonable take.
If anything, it's
Good
coming
pick.
for him to claim that that's coming for him. You know?
Yeah,
It's,
you're
you know,
right. It's
coward.
just me. That makes
Claim
it
this
better.
imaginary
Right.
take.
Oh,
Exactly.
right. Good,
Okay,
good.
Right. Thank you, 404. And let's move on to the last one, which are we just gonna run long, a little long today?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
have
good.
any
we
Sure.
can
massive
whip this
plans?
out of the way. Yeah.
We're running a little
Yeah,
longer. Right.
sure,
let's
sure.
let's go on to your last piece here, 404. Let's do all
Ooh,
three.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, I closed the tab. Hold up. Let me open it again.
He checked out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's coming.
Again, there's another tough one from historical context, but I heard this opinion. Root and Seos is the best bottom lane in CBLOL history. And again, you could take this kind of post 2020 since we've been covering the league in earnest. Root and Seos is the best bottom lane in history.
No. No, it's not.
History.
You would posit who, Axeman?
Yeah. And again, if you don't want to
Just-
take history because there's a big kind of pre 2021 CBLOL gap, fine. You could say 2021 onward that you have casted with your own eyes since you've been watching every game of this league.
Well, no, I would just give it superlatively to BRTT and who was the support? Robo was support, right?
No, it was
Lucy.
Excuse me?
He had Lucy in 2021. I think he's also had BRTT. There was also BRTT Lucy iteration in 2019.
Oh, did I just make that up? I thought Robo was his support at some point.
Robo has role swapped a couple times. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
ever played
Yeah.
support.
Okay, maybe I
would-
won't give it to them superlatively then. Yeah,
What's-
Lucy, BRTT and Lucy then.
What's the I've cast? Maybe Natuno Zai. They were so good.
Mm-hmm.
And Natuno doesn't have that Titan
Sorry, who was the person who was
Loose
nominated for it
energy.
originally? Root and Seance.
Root Seos.
Root and Seos.
Root and
This
Seos.
current loud bottom lane.
That
I think
surely
Titan and
not.
Scamber are a better bot lane than Root and Seos.
Wow.
Brother.
Holy shit!
Broski,
I
what's
Get
disagree.
going on?
Scamber back in the league.
Oh
Get him
my
in.
god!
You guys aren't scampering like I'm scampering. That's
You threw
okay.
me for a loop,
That's
bro.
okay. He's in
We don't-
academy.
wait, so-
He's gonna come back.
So what do we think of Titan and Frosty right now? How do they compare? Is that like even close?
They
Yeah,
keep dying 2v2, man. They
Sample
keep
size
dying
too small.
2v2.
they're great.
Also
They're
that.
dying too many times. They're really
Titan and
good.
Frosty are awesome.
They are awesome, but they also just
I
keep
think it's
dying.
Titan is extremely awesome. Frosty's also there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He's a bit awesome.
No,
Frosty's
okay,
a bit
fair,
awesome.
yeah. But I think this is tough because like I think Titan's pop-offs are in like later game team fights. I think he's got that like that dog in him. Like he's just unbelievable.
Bronze and Sales was kind of hype as well.
Bronze and Sales was literally last split. Right?
Bronze
They
and
were 2v2
Sales.
killing fools at Worlds.
And that might be more hype than Root and Sales, honestly. Root's really good, but
Mhm.
Bronze when he's on. I think for me it would be Natuno Zai or Bronze Sales. Can I patch current Bronze into that just to make absolutely sure? Because he's on an absolute he's playing out of his mind right now, especially in the 2v2. So take Seos from now and Bronze from now and just put them back together. And then it's a ball gap for sure.
Am I the only one that puts like a bunch of bot lanes in the league right now above above Root and Seos?
I think you might
'Cause-
be. I think right
okay,
now
yeah.
in
Certainly
I think
a
right now in
bunch.
lane-
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Especially just,
I
like,
could just
in lane.
I could just name them right now. Ayun Zai. No, no one
better.
thinks.
I
don't
don't
think
think
they're
they're
better.
the best yet. I don't think I think they can get there. I don't think they're the best yet.
Okay. But Bevoy and Pro Delta, no one thinks they're better. No. Oh, okay.
I
get-
think that as a duo, so as a duo for their time relative to the rest of the league at that time, Matsukaze and Was.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. I like Matsukaze and Was.
Relative to
Hell
the
yeah.
rest of the league at that time, they were better.
Nostalgia is one hell of a drug.
It
Hell
really
yeah.
is.
What year was that?
That was 2021.
2021, I think.
Yeah.
Certainly.
They,
Certainly.
They were on the Vorax roster that I keep talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
F&B and the
okay.
minions.
Yeah, and
'cause-
this was the same time where where I was like, oh my god, Wasserel is the greatest thing to happen to the world.
Yeah.
They were really good, and
Yeah.
I don't think Flamengo won that split. I don't think Flamengo had a better bot lane. I think Flamengo had Parang on their team.
Throw back
And-
to Barang.
Yeah, I know.
Bring
right?
back
Sorry.
Parang.
Yeah, and
Because
so
like
I,
by the time I saw them, they were a little worse. I think because that was like
Yeah.
either second split 21 or first split 22. They were good, but they were not as good relatively as you said.
I think that if you take those two players and like snapshot them then and then bring them into the
Yeah.
league now, they get absolutely destroyed. But given where they
well,
were
one of them's already here.
at like relative to everybody else,
Yeah.
they were gapping just as I think they
Yeah.
were gapping harder than
Mm.
how well the top team is gapping now. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So I think Titan and Frosty and B-Boy and Pro Delta, both of those, I would just be like, I wouldn't put them above yet because there's just not enough. Titan and Frosty, I certainly wouldn't, and B-Boy and Pro Delta, maybe like one or two below them. Root and Sales. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of good bot lane duos.
All right, and that was that was the loud stand account.
Here we go. All right.
Excellent.
Cool. Thank you very much for
Nice.
King.
Right. Since we have gone long here, let's skip forward. Let's skip ahead and let's start looking forward. Let's look at week 5 or week 5.
Okay, I'm gonna click this
Um,
button.
Gonna click it. Oh,
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Boom, look at
Transition,
that.
Right. Okay, matches to watch. Who's got a take? Who's got a match? Who's got something they care about? We have already mentioned a certain match at the bottom of this table that might be someone's pick, perhaps, if anyone wants to take the easy way out before I do.
Yeah, so
Just
so
say,
I,
Dia
I'd like
speaking, here we
I'd
go.
like to posit
Yeah.
a guideline for this. We should all nominate maximum 2 matches,
Yeah.
and
Sounds good.
the one with the most, and then I'll announce which has the most votes if it's like if there's a lot of differentiation. Just as a thought.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I
Well.
can go first,
Okay.
unless you got them.
I was just
Hit
gonna
it,
say,
boy.
can we all agree Loud versus Pain, or does anybody have a dissenting
Yeah, I
opinion for
mean-
Sunday's match?
You're saying one Saturday, one Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. You're allowed to have dissenting opinions. I think that's like far and away the best match of the day.
All right, sounds good. So
Yeah.
Sunday, guys, I mean, watch
Mhm.
everything, but watch Loud versus Pain.
And if
Definitely
you have
watch that.
anything to do, it's that one for sure.
Yeah. And then, I mean, yeah, like I think Fury versus Red is gonna be fun as well. But you know, we get to
It's a good little run up at the end of the day there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Kaboom could pick up their first
INTZ
win. VKS Fluxu's
Yeah.
good.
I think INTZ Liberty has a sleeper energy if Liberty wake up on the wrong side of on the right side of the bed, I guess.
Mhm.
Because they can push teams early and force them to make hard decisions later on. But I think it's that those last 2 matches for sure I think are a nice way to round it out.
For
So what about Saturday?
For anybody else have? I'm gonna say it for Saturday. I really like Fluxo
I'm gonna
INTZ.
say it.
There it is.
I
That's
like
what I was
Fluence
gonna pick.
INTZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fluxu is
where
a
I'm at.
very interesting week.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got 2 teams that they're gonna be fighting for that kind of 6th spot for.
They
Yep.
are literally tied with both of them. So they are going to be trying to sort that 4-way tie out for a third right now. Fluxu, INTZ Loud, and VKS are all 5 and 3. Pain and Red are pulling away, and we need to. Loud are expected to keep going up, and the other 3 are now the kind of playoffs banned since Fury are now 4 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got to sort it out before Furia like grabs them by their ankles and wrenches them out of playoffs. To be honest.
I like even looking at Saturday's matches. I think Fluxo INTZ is the closest. Furia and Liberty. Like
I
get,
think Florence is the closest. Yeah.
like it would be a big upset, but it could happen.
Mhm.
There's no way Vivocade beat Red, surely. There's no way Los in their current
Maybe.
state beat Loud, and there's no way Kaboom beat Pain.
There's
Yeah.
no way.
Liberty's got 2 winnable games this week, though.
But if Kaboom
Yeah.
do beat Pain,
I will say
It's like
that's where I thought the win was going to come. And
Yeah.
I think and honestly, I'm hoping this is not any sort of anti-Pain bias. So before you yell at me in the comments, if my dream scenario is that Pain loses to Kaboom, 1 because then 3 podcasts ago my prediction will have been correct, so that's fun
Mhm.
for me. But also, if Pain come off losing to the worst team in the league and then go into that game on Sunday having to play Loud, oh my goodness,
Oh
the stakes
my
are going to be
gosh.
so high.
that would be
Because
amazing.
then you're in a lose-lose, right? It's either okay, you beat Loud and it's like, okay, crisis averted, or you lose to Loud, you go 0-2 to Kaboom and and you light Twitter on fire again. It's gonna be so much fun.
the mental block comes back up.
Oh
It's
my God.
we just
I mean,
can't win when it matters,
they
bro.
can light Twitter on fire if I haven't reached my tweet limit by that time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, if possible.
All right.
Axeman,
well, that was...
so were you Fluxo INTZ as well, Axeman, just to confirm?
I am
Saturday.
not on the show this weekend, so I don't have a dog in this fight. But definitely watch the show and watch Fluxo INTZ because it's the match of the week.
Sounds good.
Match of the week. There it is.
There
Confirmed.
it is.
Okay, I think that's just about us. Let's wrap it up. Let's keep it inside 90, I think. We should be able
Oh,
to keep
yeah.
inside 90 minutes here.
It's clean. Clean.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone, for watching. As always, feel free to follow us on Twitter at CBLOL_English and come and watch the show at Twitch/CBLOL English. We will be back Saturday, Sundays, as usual, starting at 5 p.m. local time, a number of other times.
9 a.m.
1
Other
p.m.
times.
Brazil time.
There you
9
go.
Pacific, noon Eastern, 1 o'clock Brazil.
X-Man's like,
Oh,
get
yeah.
me
Oh,
out
yeah.
of here.
Oh yeah, it's 5 p.m. my time. Yeah. Okay.
Doing
Right. Thank
the
you everyone for
NPC
watching.
wave.
And he's just gonna keep. I kind of want to stretch it just to keep him waving for as long as possible. Now I kind of want to just try and ramble
He's actually got a
until
good
he
one going
passes
on. All right,
out.
let's do
Yeah.
this. All right, bye everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.